everyone, Chelsea here from So Simple Home. We've got a new great project for you today. I think you're really going to love it. We are making a scissor keeper. So a scissor keeper is just that. It is a keeper of your scissors. So if you move around a lot and you take your scissors with you, this is a great way to hold on to your scissors, put them in a bag, tote, whatever. So it's actually a really quick and easy project. You might be surprised how simple it is. So first off, you're going to need 3 things. You're going to need 2 pieces of cotton fabric and then a piece of fusible interfacing. Your cotton fabric should be cut to 9 inches wide and 12.5 inches tall. So it's not a lot of fabric. If you have some scraps laying around, that'll work. You're going to take your interfacing and you're going to put it on one of your pieces. It doesn't really matter which piece. If you want the back to be a little bit heavier, then you might want it on your back piece. But, you know, I don't know that it really makes that much of a difference which piece you put it on. I've done it both ways. You might try it both ways and see. You could also just put the interfacing on both pieces and then make it just a little bit thicker. That is also a possibility. Now once you have your interfacing on one of your pieces, now we're going to put our 2 pieces together with right sides together. So they're on the inside. And then we're going to take something that has a rounded edge. I have this embroidery hoop here. And we're just going to kind of line it up at one of the tall corners. And we're going to take a little marker and just draw that curve. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just wanting the curve. Now you don't necessarily have to have the curve, but that's what makes this curve here at the top. So if you want it to stay pointed, you could most definitely leave this area pointed, and then the top of your scissor keeper would be pointed. And then directly across from that, so here's our rounded edge, on the straight side across from it, you're gonna mark, or you're gonna place 2 pins for an opening. And it should be a couple inches, maybe 2-3 inches wide, so that you can turn your material right side out when the time comes. And then I'm just gonna put a couple pins in here just so that my material stays. And then we're gonna sew. Now to sew this, we're gonna start at this pin. This is our opening. Start at this pin, sew down, across, up, around to the corner and back to this piece, leaving this area open. Okay. And we are stitching at 1/4 inch seam allowance. So it's not a big seam allowance. And we don't want a lot of bulk in this project. So for your interfacing, you're going to want to use a light to medium weight interfacing. Anything more than that, it's going to get too bulky. You're already going to have a lot of bulk with the scissors, so we don't want to add more bulk. When we get to our curved edge, we're just going to follow that curve around and keep sewing. To the corner, we're putting our needle in, turn, and then we're to our last pin here. And there we go. And all my scissors are in here. It's doing a good job keeping my scissors. We're going to just trim the threads we have here. So that's kind of what it looks like. Now we're going to take our scissors. We're going to trim our corners at a diagonal. Take out some of that bulk. Now this curved edge, we're just going to come in and cut the quarter edge seam allowance. Okay, so now it's curved. You can see that on both sides. There's a nice curve. Okay, and then we'll just take our little Cricut Easy Press and just press those stitches just so that they kind of fuse into the fabric. Another thing you can do that I forgot, on this curved edge you can take your scissors and kind of clip every inch or so around that curved edge, and that's going to make it so it lays nice and flat. So glad we thought of that before we turned it all the way. I gotta find my opening. There it is. Okay, now we're going to pull everybody through and turn this scissor keeper right side out. Then we'll take a wooden dowel of some sort and we'll come in here and push those seams out, push those corners out, flatten everything up real nice. It's pretty good. Just pressing with our little easy press here. Just use your regular iron. You can use your heat press. Now the next step is kind of optional, mostly because I didn't like the extra seams all the way around. I felt like that added some bulk to it, but you can do it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on this one so you can kind of see the comparison, but we're going to stitch all the way around. That's not true. We are going to stitch around, but we're going to leave this bottom portion unstitched down here. So we're going to stitch the two long sides and then the curved side. Okay, this is called the top stitch. We're going to stitch right at the edge, all the way around to the opposite side. Now this top stitch is going to close this opening we have. So if you don't do the top stitch, all you would need to do is come to the opening and stitch across it to close it off. We're just going to go to there. So we left this side unstitched. Now we did that because what I find is when we fold it here to do our design, then you just have more seams on this side and you don't want more seams. All right, are we ready to fold? This part is actually really simple. So we're taking this side, this corner, and we're gonna fold it over so that we have the curved edge here, but we also are close to, if not all the way to the end here, to the point. This piece we're going to fold over square, so it's going to kind of line up across, and then this piece we're folding back to here. So it's kind of a zigzag, you see that? Now it looks really nice here with this stitching, but if we had that extra stitching along the bottom edge, it would end up getting stitched twice, and then it adds a little bit more bulk, and I personally just don't like the look of that. That to me is just too much. So I'm just going to take a pin here and put it in. Okay, and now we're going to stitch it. We're going to stitch from one corner down up to the other corner, so in a V shape. And we're going to stitch really close to that edge. But when we get to the next piece, we'll put our needle down. Make sure we lift it so that our pocket stays nice and straight. Again, stitch down to the bottom. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to put my needle down. And I'm going to turn my entire scissor keeper. And then I'm going to keep stitching up the opposite side, making sure I stitch all those layers together. Stitch all the way up to this side. And there you go. There's your little scissor keeper. So now you just take your cute scissors and you put them in your keeper for safekeeping. And it fits all sizes of scissors. I've got my pinking shears here, and they fit really nicely in that big pocket. I've got little embroidery scissors. They fit in here. In fact, you could probably put 2. But that is how you make a little scissor keeper. It's a really fun and simple project. That's one of the things I like. So it's a great gift to give to your sewing friends. And you can make some adjustments. You could add some ribbon to the top so that it could hang. You could change up the design of the zigzag a little bit if you wanted to. But it's really fun and simple and super useful for anyone who uses a lot of scissors. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If you want to get the photo tutorial, we have a link down in the description, so it'll take you over to the blog so you can take your time in following those instructions to make your own scissor keeper. But that is the end of this project, so we will see you guys next time.